something doesn't look right with this person, especially missing eyebrows. Look, images. The five head is a big tell. As soon as you see that five head, you know what it reminds me of? I'm seeing, especially in this one. Is it that one? No, the other one. Where was it? Was it that one? There's one. He looks like Prince William. Look at the deep philtrum. The philtrum is this groove down to the top lip. That's called the philtrum. Look how deep it is. Look at the Cupid's bow. It looks like a bow and arrow on the top lip. Men have thin lips. They have them reduced and they have the Cupid's bow cut out, but some of them don't. They don't all have the same surgeries. Otherwise, they'd all look very, very similar. But once you get used to looking at an FTM face, deep philtrum, Cupid's bow, soft eyes look, flat forehead, widest in the hairline, small, high set ears, rounded jawbone, no trachea, no Adam's apple, small dentures. Then you start to realise you're being done by the Knights Templar. You know what this is. It's a folded up pyramid. So as soon as I started watching this earlier on, look at those hips. Look at those female hips. She's looking right at his ass. Those two might be dudes, I don't know. But that's definitely a woman there. How do I know? Because she walks like a bitch, look. Kipper-footed. There's a great one. There it is. Game over. Anders Breivik, or whatever you call her. It's a woman. I remember when I was just a Flat Earth channel, and one of my ex-girlfriends was coming in, Suze. Hiya, Suze. And she went mental because we were talking about this being a psyop. Before I even knew about transvestigations and how to depict this. It's so simple for me now. Look at that shoulder tilt. The short arms hanging akimbo and the full mince. This giant policeman in front, look, with straight legs and a space between his feet is bothering me. This policewoman with a beard at the back is also bothering me. Can you see a common pattern here? Humans are good at picking up patterns. The pattern is that the three bearded dudes are all women, look, by the way they walk, and that policewoman is a man, look, due to the way he walks. It's all a show. It's a clown show for the clowns. And as hard as it is for you to accept that your best friends, your family, your mothers, your brothers, your fathers, your sisters, your cousins are all dingbats, mong chops, whatever you want to call them, divs, absolute divots, that they believe everything they see on TV. And I know it's hard for the brainwashing to come undone. We sound like the crazy people, but we did the research. They didn't. They just accepted what they got told, just like accepting that you're spinning on a ball. There's no proof of it. Show me the proof. My first Flat Earth proof was I'm not spinning. And then it opened up the door to water level and then God, in that order. Within, I don't know, 30 seconds, I was at God's doorstep. I was at the gates of heaven, in the living, crying like a little baby. Everything we see, especially these major stories, are just psyops. It's not just the serial killers. It's all of them. And this is no different. The idea is, the premise is this. When you was at school, they had a fire drill. And all the teachers, they'd set the fire alarms off. All the teachers would grab each student, count their heads, say their names, walk them out to a safe point in the playground. Then the fire engines would pull up, pretend to go into school, come back out, and then we'd all go back to class. Every year we had to do that. Just in case there was a fire, we all knew where to go and where to meet so that they could count heads. Sensibility, right? It's like putting the fuel storage for a car at the back of the car. You won't put it underneath the children's seats. You won't put it underneath the driver's seat. And you definitely won't put it underneath your wife or husband's seat. So you'd put it at the back away from you all. It's the same premise. It's safety. So now take that premise of a fire drill at school and let's do it as a lunatic on an island. Well, it wasn't. Let me bring it up. First of all, he bombed a place. She bombed a place. Well, it's for me, it's just like the Timothy McVeigh or whoever it is in America. It's the same thing. It was a government building. It's a government plan. It's a government fire drill. or a bombing drill in this case. It was a bombing shooting drill, this one. So, look how close together her eyes are. Same with that one, lot. Look, the man who went on a mission to kill the police is a woman, lot. It's definitely a woman. Big bodybuilder. No, it's a woman on T. That one there, close, that's a woman. Why did this man go on a stabbing spree in New York? Again, I see another woman. David Mitchell, look, close set eyes. This one, they've all got these close set eyes. So this is the actual thing that came up. This came up when I started watching it earlier on. The man who murdered 77 people, which isn't, well, it is true, but he did 8 in the bombing, which is where this is. And then he if you know anything about the story, he went over to an island where a load of, it was like a spring camp, summer camp, with a load of he was dressed as a policeman, pretending to protect them. And when he got there, he opened up fire on them all. So, firstly, it's all caca poo-poo. Absolute nonsense, right? So anybody who wants to get upset with me, like Susie got upset with me for saying this was a psyop. Before I knew any of this, I knew it was a psyop. All these things that they show us are psyops. But I didn't know how to show you that these people were psyoped. Everyone says, what's the word? Crisis actors. That's what they are, crisis. They cause a crisis, but they're all actors. There's no crisis. But then they make up new laws over a fake crisis. That's the premise behind it. So, before I could do this, I knew it was a psyop. But I couldn't. Now, it's just literally seconds looking at this picture and I'm done. Woman, bearded woman, bearded woman, bearded woman, bloke. Bloke with boobs. Due to the straight legs. The only one walking straight out of those 4 is that man there. So when you hear me giggling and laughing at this stuff, I'm laughing at it's a joke. It's not real. That's why I can giggle and laugh at it. I'm one of the most sensitive people in the world, I think. Dolphins! But I wouldn't, if I thought this was real or even had an inkling that it was real, I wouldn't be able to laugh and giggle about it. You know what I mean? This is not real. I can look at a skeleton and I can tell you whether that person's a liar or not. And this person is a liar. Crisis actor or not, it's a liar. Firstly, it's a liar. The core identity is female. Same with the police women. It'll be the judge, the prosecution, they're all in on it. It's just a clown show. None of it's real. And then they get here doing these poses and all of this in front of all these fake policemen in a fake. It literally looks like they're doing that on a school courtroom, inside a. It looks like a basketball court or something. What is that? Is that really a court? And we're done again. Look at the state of this. Major problems all over the shop, look. That one looks like Bonnie Blue, Lily Phillips. Obviously a woman. Another woman here. And that one, is that the same one that I said was a bloke here? He's just crossing his legs over because his legs are straight there, look. That's why he looks like Bonnie Blue to me. Look how long these arms are. But yet, the so-called men, look, all they stop at the crotch. These arms and hands past the crotch, look. Long armed, straight-armed man I'm seeing. And a suit that don't fit. None of them can get clothes that fit them, look. Do you know who he reminds me of? Julian, is it Julian Sands? What do they call that? The one with the blonde hair. Julian. Oh. Yeah, it's Julian. I can't remember her name. I don't care. Another psyop. But we're looking at a woman. Anyway, back to the video. I'm looking at the video, and this comes up. This was, what are we in? We're literally 3 minutes, 40 seconds in about there. Right? We'll go back. Just, is that far enough? Yeah, just about. Turn the sound off. Excerpts of copyright material may, under circumstances, be quoted verbatim for purposes such as news reporting, criticism, teaching, and research. That's what this is, teaching. So, I'm watching this. Anders, before he went on the shooting spree, she went on the fake shooting spree, blew up this government building. I was in awe. I was like, I don't remember him reporting that he blew up a building. I just remember the shootings from the news. I do not remember this at all. It was like Mandela effect. But that's what they play on you misremembering something, rather than, like, I don't remember this, so when they showed me it was like, well, did that happen? But anyway, this witness starts talking. And he's like, I was in my shop. He's in Norway. I'm doing an American I'm doing a redneck accent for him. He lives in Norway. I was in my shop when all the windows got blown out and there was a big sound. I thought there was a thunderstorm. That's what he says. And then it shows you the witness walking. Let me turn eye quality up first. Oh, there isn't one. That's strange. Usually there's a... That must be on its highest quality. Playback speed. 25%. Let's play it back slowly. So there it is. Obviously, this was a big explosion. Again, a bombing drill is what I see. There's no people anywhere. Apparently, the government building was empty. This guy says... This person... He's about to appear here. He's just behind this blade wall. This person's talking. He's saying, I went through all the buildings nearby and I was looking for everybody in the offices. I couldn't find nobody in the offices, but luckily it was the summer holidays and everybody was not at work. So all the offices were empty. That's what I heard. And I was just sat here giggling to myself, right? Just on the explanation why only eight people died here. So if you take 8 off the 70, well, 77's Masonic anyway. The 77th Battalion. You take 8 off that and you're left with 69. That's as above, so below. A 6 is a 9. Remember the perspective. Perspective. 6, 9. Remember that? As above, so below. So that was like, the witness goes, I looked through all the offices, I didn't find no dead bodies, but there were dead bodies everywhere. If there were dead bodies everywhere, how can only 8 people be dead? If the building was filled with people, I'd expect dead bodies everywhere. But this person's like, there were dead bodies everywhere. I'm bearing in mind, what are we? We're 3 minutes, almost 333, look, into this film. When I'm hearing this... I was making a meme, so when I'm doing my memes, I like to listen to these in the background. When I hear something that catches my attention, I flick to the screen and rewind it or whatever and watch it. So I'm listening to it, and I went through all the offices, nobody died. And then I could hear him walking in the film, and I thought, right, let's go look at the witness. Now, you're all students of mine. I've taught you how to do this properly. This is the witness in slow motion. Ready? Flamingo, rotation of the hip, diamond, arms akimbo, tilted shoulder. You do see this arm angled away and this one angled away from the female hips, right? Because that's the widest part. Women can't walk straight. They create this diamond in their legs because their knees have to separate. Even under a dress or a coat, you can still see it. Are you seeing it? I don't walk like that. I walk with straight legs. I don't create diamonds. I don't have a flamingo foot. My knees and feet stay forward at 6 o'clock. They do not angle out towards 8 or 4 o'clock. And that's just one witness. When I go through any of these stories, I find these problems. The minute they give me gates, it's game over. Even if you don't believe what I'm saying about the faces. And this continued all the way through this. As I'm watching more and more witnesses, I don't know how far through I got on this. I was quite enjoying it, actually, picking them all apart. Another one here, a survivor. Oh, that's Anders Breivik there after he parked the van up. Do you know what he looks like there? I'm seeing a lesbian. I can't think who it is. But I'm seeing a really pretty girl. A pretty Norwegian girl. Right there, I see a pretty Norwegian girl. Scandinavian looking girl. I wish They all could be Scandinavian girls. Anders Brezhnev, where's the footage of him walking? There it is. We might have to, hang on, I can pull this up. Oh no, that is it. Right there. Bink. It's only a few screens long. But here, broken leg, female Bigfoot look. Dressed as a policeman. Play. Oh, it is playing. Why is that not moving? Oh, maybe that's a pause section. But it does show you Anders Brezhnev. He parked a white van up, blew the building up, and then walks away dressed as a policeman. And then she goes off. Anyway, nice Templar cross there. Skull and bones. That's what I want to show you there. Let's go back to Anders Brezhnev. Now, you've just seen that the witnesses, well, one of the witnesses, I'm telling you it's all of them, they're all in on it, including the police, including the judge, including the prosecution. That's the only way this fairy tale works, is if all of them are in on it. That way nobody goes off track. If everybody's practicing the same religion, Satanism, which they all are, lying to the general public, which they all are, then you can't go, they're not going to have a mishap. The only times you get these Julian, what was his name? Julian Sands, I can't. Whistleblowers. Snowden's another one. Both of them are women, and it's the same thing. That they're allowing the information out. Satan's, the Satanic Bible, written by Anton LaVey, or whoever it was, Crowley, quite clearly states that everything has to be a lie. Everything we believe has to be a lie. We have to do everything backwards. And everything we believe has to be backwards. So the earth's flat, but we believe it's a ball. Heaven's not there, we believe in space. It's the exact opposite. Anders Brezhnev. So the whole story with the chin strap. Look at this chin strap beard. I can't stand them. There's no brow bone look. Vertical forehead. Widest in the hairline. High set ears. Same problem with this cone head at the back look. She's got a flat forehead as well by the look of it. It's all lies. He looks like someone there, and I can't think who it is. I hate it when that happens because it's usually Julian Assange. Thank you, Southern Sierra. Assange. Sands. I can't remember it. I'm getting old, I swear down. Right, so Julian Assange. Spitting him, I think they look quite similar. She's a bit chubbier. Julian Assange. But she has that Scandinavian look to her, doesn't she? Really small face on this one. Which picture is that one? Look how small that triangle is. Forget the face, just look how small the triangle is. And look how small the face is compared to the skull. And that only happens with this one. Because a man's face is spread out. He has a short forehead. This one's got a big, wide forehead. Julian Assange walking. I'll do it real quick for you whilst we're at it. Images. And we're done right there. Game over. Julian Assange a bitch. Is that Julian Assange? Yeah. Walking across the lawn at Ellingham Hall. These are the houses that they live in. Halls. They live in halls. We live in 2 and 3 bedroom Amster boxes, and they live the high life, Satan's life. But I'll tell you, you can stick that house and everything that comes with it right up your jacksie. I'll stick with my Amster box. I'll sit with my turmoil and my grief and my sin. I'll sit with that. I'll sooner have that than be part of this world, be part of this game. Jesus said I'd hate this world and it would hate me because I am not of it. And I'm truly not. It appalls me that my best friends and family are part of it and they like it and they embrace it and they enjoy it. They enjoy their slavery. They enjoy their lies. They will not tell their children there's a chance that the earth's flat. They won't tell their children there's a chance that space doesn't exist. There's a chance that your prime minister is a woman, not a man. You don't want your children to know the truth. You see, if you value the truth, it shows. That's why Jesus said you'll know them by their fruits. If you value truth. I know that there are only 2 skeletons in this world due to the facts of forensic anthropology. There are only 2 skeletons in the world. That means there are only 2 genders, boys or girls. Mr. Rogers explained this when we was younger. Boys are boys and girls are girls. Everything else is a mental illness, and I'm not taking part in it. If your freedom and happiness, you want to change your looks and you want to do that to yourself, that's fine. But if you want to read stories to my child at story time, you got no chance. You're getting a big middle finger. What first question is, why do you want to read to children dressed like that? That's my first question. As a living soul, as a man, what possesses you? Why can't you? What is it about children that you want to affect in minds? Because they're influenced by influencers. And that's why the world is falling apart. Because all these influencers are all coming out the woodworks and changing themselves and doing this to themselves. All their fans want to follow suit. And adults have become so numbed by the circus that they're all right with it. If a ratio turned around to me and said, Dad, I've changed my mind, I'm not a boy, I'd know that I've failed as a father. I have. Absolutely failed him. Because I didn't give him a brain to think for himself. I let someone hijack his thoughts and his mind. Because that's what's happening. If you're an adult and you want to do this of your own free will and you haven't been influenced, your freedom, your happiness, your pursuit of happiness, go with it. But don't ask me to join in your cosplay. That's the way I look at it. When I meet God and he says to me, you took parts in the wickedness, Peter. Why did I? Because you okayed this with children. You said it was okay in story time and all this. I'm not having God say that to me. And I'm certainly not having him say to me, you knew this was a man with boobs, but you pretended and you kissed him. You had sex with him. That's never going to happen, God. Never, ever, ever. It might have happened in the past, but it's never going to happen now I'm trained in skeletals and forensics. It's never going to happen. Like when I spoke to Henley earlier on, he understood it straight away. If you're listening, Henley, because I know you sub to the channel, study my training videos. Where are they? Let me bring them up for you. That's the right one, isn't it? That is the right one. There it is. Subscriptions, blah, blah, blah. Where's my playlist? There, look, playlists. You go to the playlist, and right there are training videos, look. Sometimes I wonder how good a student you actually are. Annie Taff! Hello, Annie Taff. How are you doing, sweetie? Paste. There you go. Influenzas. Oh, I didn't see you come in chat. You didn't say hello, did you? No, you just ignored me, Annie. Screw you, Annie. Right, so there you go. There's a training list for all of you. As you progress and learn with forensics, you don't need these training videos. If you don't understand them straight away, watch the video again and again. Watch me and look. I should show this anyway, because people say that the skulls don't work. This is, I think this is Sean's. Yeah, it is Sean's. There's the female skull on a female skull. There's the male skull on a male skull, and that jaw does not do justice to the square jaw of a man's face compared to the sloping jaw of a woman's. That skull does not do justice to it. It does it. But the eye sockets fit perfectly. Look, men have. Look how deep this hole is here. It's called optical orbit. The veins that connect to the eye, which is bigger on a man, the pupils and eyes of women are bigger, but the actual eyeball of a man is bigger because he's got a wider opening. Look. The optical orbits are bigger and so are these holes at the back that allow all the veins into the eyes. The woman's is much tighter and smaller. Everything's smaller. The bridge of the nose, look, is smaller on a woman than it is on a man. These are the never trust a man whose eyes are too close together. What she was talking about was the bridge of the nose. It's tiny. Women have a small bridge in the nose. It keeps their eyes together. And when someone starts doing it wrong, you see, we don't need the skulls. We can just see that that's an egghead. Once you've done this for long enough, you'll just see that an egghead, the small triangle. You just be able to do. You won't need the skull. You'll just see that skull. Skull training. There are people out there that want to do it wrong, but I'll tell you now, once you can do this, you will know the female sloping jaw, pointed chin, versus the male diesel jaw. The blockhead versus the egghead, widest in the hairline. Once you can do this for yourself, which is what I'm here to teach you, to do it for yourself, so that any teacher that you then go to, if they're lying to you, you'll be onto them, right? If they're telling you it's not all of them, that's a liar. Your teacher's a liar. Anybody who tells you it's not all of them, or it's just some of them, is a government agent, full stop. I'm telling you now. I've been doing this 6 years. I can't find one normal man or woman in Celebrityville. So anybody trying to tell me, I found one, get to... No, you haven't. Nobody can find one because we're not allowed. Which part of your second-rate citizenship are you not understanding? Because you're a legal name, they are legally allowed to lie to you. It's all fair and it's all above board because it's legal. It's discussed by dirty solicitors and lawyers and barristers all around the world. But the only way you can join that club is to become a Mason and pass the bar. Like Raich's eyes have been wrecked. His lenses on his eyes have been wrecked by giving him the wrong drugs when he went in. He'd hurt his eyes and they gave him some medicine and it affected his eyes real bad. Not a single solicitor wants to pick up Raich's case. Not one of them. Because they're all past the bar and they don't want to sue their own kind. Square jaw, pointed jaw. Once you know the difference, just on a chin and a mouth alone, you can spot them. It's Anders Brezhnek's face right there, compared to Eileen Warnos, the only male serial killer. A serial killer is another one. Let's go back. So Anders Brezhnek, Gail, final answer. Julian Sands, Gail, look at that mince. There's a few of them. Julian Assange, come on, where are you? Look at this. Look at the size of that behemoth. Straight legs. Look at the size of them feet. Knees together. Same here, a little bloke with a massive bowling ball head. And right there, I got the hippie shakes. I don't let this drag me down the way they want it to, you know. It saddens me that they're doing this and have done it, and they do it to children, and they're still doing it to children. But the worst part for me is all the normal people, our friends and family, that don't care. They don't care. We're all nutters. I'm a lunatic. I'm a deranged man because I don't believe in satellites. Fact. That's what they think. I can prove satellites don't exist. They hang on balloons. NASA's the biggest buyer of helium in the world. Why? Because every satellite they use is on a balloon, 80-foot tall balloon. Julian Assange, I can't find the other gates, but I have done Julian Assange anyway. But all the people reporting, the witnesses, look, whoever these are, man, woman, in that order. Julian Assange, it's another one. It's another great big psyop for the masses. Look at them ski whiff legs. Couldn't walk straight if it tried. It reminds me of Satan Oakley there. Look at those arms akimbo. Look at the big hips. Look at the stride. One foot in front of the other. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. The whistleblowers are in on it. But they want us to know the truth. As far as I'm concerned, this is Revelations. People say it's the little season, and it's possible. If they added the number on to 1886 or 1776, let's say they added the number on, it's actually 776. And then 200 years after, that would be your reign's up this year, 2026. 1776 to 2026 is the little season over. If it's the little season, it'll be over this year. Coming at the end of this year, it'll all be over. It'll all be exposed. Everything. Jesus will come once again for the second time, which I just find it mental. But I think I'm in Revelations. When I've listened to Scripture and the way it works, I don't think Satan's been loosed yet. I think these are all mimicking him for when he gets here. But if we are in the little season, 250 years according to the little season period, I have done my research, Connor, then next year is time up. 1,000 years reign for Satan. 1,000 years of peace from Christ and 250 years of Satan. That would be what we're living in now, if that's what's happening. I still think that we're in Revelations. However, this could be the little season. I'm not against the idea, but I still think I'm in Revelation, because I don't think anywhere else in mankind's history has man been allowed the truth the way we've got it. Look at Anders Brezhnev. Look at that open leg, knees apart. The idea that they've created themselves in Satan's image, as I showed Henley and Taylor was funny earlier on. The first picture I showed him, and it's the biggest, ugliest man face you could look at, he went, "That's a woman." And his three mates behind the side of him all looked at him and went, "What?" Because they could all see that it was a man, clearly a man. But just to, when people just want to be argumentative or just not be wrong, he outrightly said it was a woman. And his three mates, including Henley, who had his first look at this, realised it. What was I going to show you? I forgot. Oh, yeah, Baphomet. So I showed them this picture. The Baphomet, the occult pagan god. It's all paganism. There you go. Your goat-head god. Your upside-down pentagram. Your pentagon. As above, so below. Let's get a bigger picture of it. Not the statue. Well, the statue will do. As above, so below. So the Lord's Prayer quite clearly says, "Let it be done on earth as it is in heaven." So you'd ask yourself the question, would God charge rent? No. Why is that? Why are we paying rent on earth then if we're God's children? Why is someone allowed to charge us to live here? Every other animal, and we're not animals, lives for free. Every other animal. We're the only ones who pay to live. Can you see the concept yet? Your brain has been hijacked. That you can't even have that thought. Why are we paying for food and housing when the Lord, God, gave us the land and everything on it, seed bearing fruit with seeds within itself to bear its own kind and repeat the cycle of life? It's a circle of life. That's what it is. Why are we not living that way? Why do we live in this democracy, this capitalist world? Because these people can dominate your mind that way. If you had no need for any of these things, electricity, gas, water, if it was all free the way God intended it to be, you wouldn't need these people overruling your minds. But as above, so below, that's not what's being done. As above being earth is being done as so below, as in hell. That's why this picture, that's why you got this lightning bolt. Well, I say lightning bolt, it's an SS sign, isn't it? From the collars of, well, Werner von Braun, for instance. I showed this to Taylor, and Taylor couldn't see the tits. He couldn't see them until Henley and the others pointed it out. What has the devil got that you don't have? What does the devil have that you don't have as a man? And the answer is breasts. And his first answer was, his next answer to me was, the devil's a woman. Well, that's the brainwashing that women are evil. So automatically the devil's a woman. No, it's a man pretending to be a woman. The devil wears Prada. That means it's a man in a dress. Or as you like to call them, kilts. I don't hold my breath for any of these people anymore. I don't. What they've done to this world is unholy. And if you're happy with them doing it to the children, they've removed the breast in this one, look, because there's children now, I think. They might have got told off, I don't know. But a lot of them have still got the breast in them with the children present. Why has Satan got a pair of tits? Why has he got muscly male arms and shoulders, but breasts of a woman? Why does that look like a pair of bollocks and a shaft of a penis? And then what would be called the caduceus, right? The DNA spiral. Again, don't even get me started on DNA. Why would all this be present? Why is this all around? Why are these statues all around the world on public display in public places? Why are these statues on display in public places? The Baphomet revealed is exactly what I'm revealing to you. That this is a woman pretending to be a man. She had a breast chopped off. She didn't ask for it to be done. It was done against her will. She was done as a child. That's the part that really, really pains me in all of this, that she never got a chance to be a normal person, to have a normal life, to have what God intended her for her to have. Satan hijacked it. And whether they're controlled by MK Ultra and Tavistock Institute brainwashing, if they're controlled by that, then in God's eyes, they're pretty much all right, right? Because they're being brainwashed to do it. If they're doing it of their own free will, as a grown Satanist, then on their head be it, on their soul be it, should I say. It's not on their head, it's on their soul. That's what God gave us all, a living soul. And it's eternal. Nothing's eternal, really. God's eternal. And he gives us a chance, if we've been decent people in living, to go on eternally as angels. So would you not like to be an angel? Which would you like to be? Would you like to be an angel, or would you like to be a Baphomet devil? It's up to you. You got free will. God gave you free will. I'm going to sit on the fence. It's not allowed. You got to choose, good or bad. Your choice. Truth or lies, your choice. You want to live in a world of lies, stay where you are. If you want to enter the kingdom of God, then you have to look within yourself and root out these lies and these liars. Root them out. From the root, get rid of it from your mind. Let your mind be free again. Let your heart wander freely. I wish I'd known all of this when I was 20. I wish Raish is so lucky that his heart is open. His mind is, it's not open, it's closed off. His mind is closed off. But it's only because he understands truth and lies. See, when you've got an open mind, these people can put anything in it. Nuclear bombs, dinosaurs, space. They've put loads of stuff in your open mind. You have to be open-minded. No, you don't. Not in this world. I've already been told it's Satan's world. Nothing has to be open-minded to me. The only thing I'm open to is God and his love. Because he gave it freely. He gave us everything freely. He gave us the land. He gave us the trees. He gave us the food. We've got 70, 80 years, if we're lucky, to work this out. My mum didn't work it out. My dad didn't work it out. My nana didn't work it out. Everyone before me, very few people before me have worked this out. I'm talking about natural people. These people are already in on it. They know the lie. So when they die, they already knew the truth. Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. You knew God existed, but you work for Satan. Are you a loony? God gave everything freely. And that's how I do this. I don't ask you for anything other than your time and your research. That's what I want from you. I want you to become dedicated at it so you can spot a woman when you see it. So that when you look at a picture of me, you'll know if I'm a man or a woman just by my face. You'll recognise the markers. thin lips, wide cheekbones, large, low pointed ears, set back, low pointed ears, square jaw, right angle at the ear look, sloping back forehead, short sloping back forehead, rectangle shaped eyes with a brow bone overhanging my eye right into the corner, wide smile, just by looking at my face. Face not pushed down, face spread wide open. There are a lot of people out there that want to lie to you. Like the illusion the other week, faking the gait. She's a woman, full stop. When she walked to the camera, she looked like this. Away from the camera, she looked like this. When she walked back, she was trying to walk like a man with a space between her legs. But as we've already told you, because women's legs angle in like a Y shape, when a woman walks, her legs create, and there is no better picture, I don't think, than John Lennon walking. Which shows you what a woman looks like when she tries to walk with straight legs, look. That's what happens. Not on that degree, but that same thing happens when a woman tries to walk straight-legged. She can't walk straight-legged, look. Because her knees and feet angle out between 8 and 4 o'clock every single time. Men's knees and men's feet angle forward at 6 o'clock. But they don't want you to learn this. They don't want you. None of my teachers taught me like the way I teach you. It was done in tidbits, small bits. Face training, most of it I've taught myself. All right, some bits were picked up from other people and teachers, I agree. But nobody went in depth into the skull the way I did. So that I could tell the difference between a wide-faced man and a long, narrow-faced woman. And it's so obvious to me now. Through these skulls. Granted, mine have got red triangles through them. Just to teach you the size and placement of faces. Men have bigger faces, full stop. Anders Breznik's an absolute psyop. So is Julian Assange. Edward Snowden. It doesn't matter who I look at. But in that one picture there, with the arms akimbo, the egghead, this one as well, problem. Once you see that gait there, feet in line, you have an answer. You have an answer. Anders Breivik. It's an absolute psyop. Let me put you in the back file. I'm sure I've done a Jane Seymour from last night. There we go. Anders Breivik searching. Why does he look like the Grinch? Oh yeah, because Jim Carrey's a girl. Let's go back. That right there, that's your final answer. The gait. If you can't see that this is a woman's face, a bearded woman with a short skull, high set ears, no brow bone, the flat forehead, you've got to practice. But the gait will literally destroy any of these people's lives. And I can catch multiple gaits. It's not just a one-off. It's multiple gaits. That's a female Bigfoot. When I can catch multiple gaits, I can see your pear-shaped dips, your arms akimbo, your shoulder tilted, and I know I'm looking at an egghead with a push-down face, a giant five-head, widest in the hairline, no cheekbones, look. I'm done. And so should you be. You should all be trained by now. I shouldn't have to... I'm reciting to the choir. That's what I want to do. Recite to the choir. You all know it off by heart and it's beautiful. And when people come in this chat and try and tell you the wrong things and the wrong lies, I applaud you for standing up for the truth, for valuing the truth and noticing these liars. Anders Breivik, there he is. There she is. And there you go. I still think it looks like Julian Assange, doesn't it? It really does look like Julian Assange. Right, there you go. Anders Breivik. Absolute psyop on the